Can we talk a little bit about source energy? I'm driving in the car and she'll say, "What are you thinking about?" And I say, "Source energy." And I have this vision of planets and cosmic waves and I see things in my mind of what I think source energy is. We are in creation of this universe and planets and everything, and from a higher observer standpoint that I'm, I guess, trying to understand, but
Precisely.
Getting away from the feeling maybe and wanting to see something.
Well, what you are doing is trying to describe or articulate or define or interpret what you're sensing vibrationally into an imagery that you can make sense of, and that's all fine. It's a little bit, however, like trying to, like driving and your fiance saying, "What are you thinking about?" and you're saying electricity, and she says, "What do you mean?" And instead of defining some amazing contraption that electricity is powering, you're describing the power line or the grid line. And in other words, what we want you to focus upon is that this power or energy or electricity or source cannot be separated from the manifestation that is the furthest extension of it. And the most satisfying conversation to have about it is about this furthest most extension of it. So the idea that occurs to you, the concept, the interaction, in other words, the meshing of you with others in life, that's the most delicious way to understand, to describe or define or understand source. Because as we stand as non-physical energy, as the source of that which you are, it is through that which you are living that we are most defined. You see what we are getting at? Humans keep getting it backwards. They see themselves as here, and they somehow just accept it, we suppose, because it's impossible not to accept that you're here. And then they work backwards, trying to define how they got here, trying to understand what source is. And what we attempt to do with nearly every conversation like this we have is that we want you to understand that yes, source existed before you know yourself as yourself, but you were that source energy, and a part of that source energy became you. But now as you are living in your body and shooting off these expansive rockets of desires, that source energy part is flowing through you and becoming the vibrational equivalent of the idea. So this energy that you are seeing, we want you to see the picture as it's this consciousness, and let's use the word consciousness and beingness. It's this consciousness and beingness, it's this beingness that bead and then bead in your body and then bees in this vortex. And when you consciously in your physical beingness acknowledge the wholeness of these two vibrational relationships, and you ask your emotions to guide you into alignment with it, then you get to be that very source energy that you are trying to define. And when you're inside of it looking out, that's when you feel that all is oneness that you were describing. That's why you said, I think maybe that might be what death is. Maybe I'm done. In other words, can you feel how you have been experiencing the completion of the cycle that we are describing here? And yet we're saying, but now what? Now what? In other words, in the same way that electricity is nothing until you plug something in. You get what we're talking about? The electricity is fine, but plug something in and make it manifest and real and tangible and experiential, you see. And that's the way source is. Source is nothing without this leading edge expansion, which is you. Really good.